Okay, Commissioner Chavez, we're live now.
Thank you, Mr. Everson. Good afternoon, commissioners. Good afternoon, staff. We'll call this Caddo Parish work session teleconference agenda to order. Virtual, of course. It's November the 30th at 3:31. Mr. Everson, roll call.
Commissioner Hopkins, Commissioner Johnson, Commissioner Jackson, Commissioner Young. I see him logged on, but I didn't hear you, Commissioner Young.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Burrell.
Here.
And Commissioner Cawthorn.
Present.
Commissioner Gage Watts, Commissioner Taliaferro.
Here, sir.
Commissioner Atkins.
Here.
Commissioner Chavez.
Here.
Commissioner Lazarus.
Here.
And Commissioner Epperson.
Here.
All right, you have 8 present of 12. That is a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Everson. Commissioners, we will have our invocation led by Commissioner Cawthorn, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Atkins.
All righty. If we all bow our heads and look to God, the gracious eternal Father, we come to you this evening with bow down and humble hearts. We are thankful and grateful for being able to assemble this day via teleconference. Dear Heavenly Father, we pray that the business we discuss will be useful, will be informative, and will be for the edification of the citizens of Caddo Parish. We pray collectively and individually for all of our commissioners, their family, and their loved ones. We pray a special corporate prayer on this nation and the healing of our nation. In Christ Jesus' name, we offer this petition. Amen.
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 Okay, if you all could please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. If everybody could stand and face the flag, and veterans and first responders, feel free to render a brow salute. The rest of us with our hand over our heart. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all.
All right. Thank you, commissioners. Mr. Everson.
Sorry about that. I was having trouble finding my unmute button. Let's see. The next item on our agenda is agenda additions. I'm not aware of any other than the motions that are required for our teleconference meeting. I'm not aware of any. Are you?
I have none, sir.
Okay, great. And then that means that we do need a motion to approve the consideration of items under Louisiana Revised Statute 4217.1.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Got a motion by Commissioner Epperson, second by Commissioner Atkins.
That was by Commissioner Burrell, I believe, wasn't it?
Hey, Brill.
The other Epperson. The other Epperson, Mr. President.
Got it.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Everson, roll call, please.
Okay, Commissioner Hopkins, Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson, Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Burrell,
Yes.
Commissioner Cawthorn,
Yeah.
Commissioner Gage Watts.
That's, you know.
Did I hear Commissioner Gage Watts? No, I don't think she's on the call. I'm sorry. Commissioner Taliaferro,
Yes.
So,
Commissioner Atkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lazarus.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner Epperson.
Yes.
That's 9 in favor and none opposed. So that does carry. And at this point, I'd like to just remind you that your certificate of teleconference is attached at this point on the agenda. No action is required. And that brings us to citizens' comments. We have received a few citizens' comments electronically, and I would be more than glad to read those, but would you like me to go ahead and give the phone number out in case anybody wants to call in?
Yes, sir, Mr. Everson. We'll give the phone number out and then we'll go ahead and read the digital.
Great. The phone number, if somebody wants to make public comments, is 318-226-6596. And I will begin. Again, that number is 226-6596. And I'll begin with those that have been received prior to the meeting. Let's see, this email serves to show my support of a Jake brake regulating ordinance for the area of Jefferson Page Road between its intersections with Jelly Napier and Greenwood Road. The Jake brakes are the modified exhausts on some of the big rigs that travel this stretch of Jefferson Page Road all during the day and night and are very disturbing. Sometimes in the middle of night, the vibrations are so bad it sounds like someone breaking into my home. I'm very thankful for the attention to this matter. Sincerely, Mr. Guy Smith, homeowner at 8255 Jefferson Page Road. The next comment comes from Miss Louise Burton, who also is a resident on Jefferson Page Road. And Miss Burton says, please support the Jake brake ban ordinance. Huge trucks that work for oil companies are coming through here day and night. We are being very disturbed, and I'm afraid to go to my mailbox because they are driving so recklessly in huge trucks right past my house. And the next comment comes from Miss Dottie Bell, who also serves on the Caddo Parish School Board. Dottie Bell lives at 7881 Jefferson Page Road, and she writes in support of the Jake brake ordinance. It is so bad late at night, and we live by the park and have to hear the noises all night long. Trucks are going by so fast, and I am nervous and scared. They have already had a wreck in the corner, and something must be done. This is a good start. And that comes from Dottie Bell. Michelle, do we have any callers on the line? I don't believe we have any callers. So if y'all would like, we can move on or.
Yep, yes, sir, Mr.
You want me to proceed?
Yes, sir.
Great. Okay. So the next section we have is visitors. Under visitors, we do have a scheduled visit today from Prize Fest. I do know that they have a representative on the line as well.
Awesome.
Amy, would you like to go ahead and address?
Sure. I'm Amy O'Callahan. I am with the Prize Foundation. I'm here on behalf of Gregory Kallenberg, who is under the weather today, which means that this will probably be a lot shorter than intended. But I do have notes, if you all will bear with me. I just want to thank you all for the opportunity to speak before y'all today. We just want to update the commission what's been going on with the Prize Foundation. So early on this year, we pivoted our programming and created a daily show called Prizecast. That allowed us to kind of highlight previous participants and all the prizes. So for Food Prize, we did food demos. For Film Prize, we did AV Club, which showcased past Louisiana Film Prize films, followed by a Q&A with either the director or the actor from the film. We did music showcases. We did quarantine fashion tips with Katie Larson from Agora Borealis, who's part of our team. We did happy hours and movie nights where we showcased previous Film Prize films that were interactive. And this allowed us to showcase our city and create value for our citizens during a time when we were all staying at home. We also created and hosted a series on Wednesday mornings called Morning Startup, which featured content for our area entrepreneurs. All of these episodes that we did in the spring were free for our community and included tips on how to survive, sustain, and thrive during a pandemic, which ironically is what the Prize Foundation has been attempting to do at the same time. Over the summer, we did our Film Prize Junior program, which highlights our high school film competition. We had 65 scripts that were submitted, even though the schools were shut down. So we're very proud of those efforts. That came from 29 schools throughout the state. 13 of those schools were Title I schools. And we were able to still get them equipment, and we worked with them on online software programming to help finish up their films. We had a even breakdown of female and male directors, and all-female grand prize winners in both our judges and audience vote. This festival was done online due to Outbreak being canceled. So it was a 10-day festival that had over 3,370 views of these films. And there were over 26 films that were showcased during that time. Which brings us to Prize Fest, which was done in early October. We hope y'all had the opportunity to be a part of it. It also had a 10-day run with 20 films that were viewed over 45,000 times from 37 states and 9 countries. Our website was hit over 38,000 times with 6,700 unique viewers. And our festival YouTube page had over 28,000 views. By prize, our startup prize, we did a national symposium on diversity and parity. Our food prize, we distributed over 500 Golden Fork passports. And this, we were a hybrid festival. So this provided the opportunity for locals to actually go into Shreveport restaurants. They had to go into at least 3 of the 6 participating restaurants and eat at these establishments before they could vote. We distributed over 500 of these passports, and we are proud to say that Chef Anthony Fallon and Chef Tootie Morrison were our winners from Fat Cap and Abby Singer, and they each won $1,000 for their establishment. For Music Prize, we hosted an 8-hour music festival with a diverse lineup from everything to Christian rock to rap at Fairfield Studios, and the winner was Lance Thompson from Shreveport. And Fashion Prize hosted a live fashion show and competition featuring local designers across 7 locations in Shreveport, and the winner was Hepzibah Thomas, also from Shreveport. So what's next for 2021? We are going to continue the mission to educate and evolve and activate our citizens. And we are going to do this by continuing to educate the entrepreneurs. We are going to evolve everyone through gathering mentors and experts and working with them through Zoom or in person when that becomes the opportunity for us to bring that back. And we are going to continue to activate our community. We are going to continue to work with chefs and entrepreneurs to help them understand the opportunities here in Caddo Parish. We're going to continue to work with local resources. This year, we partnered with Mitch Landry Creative to build our in-studio sets here in our office. We worked with Fairfield Studios. We worked with Agora Borealis, just to name a few, to create our Prize Fest experience, our virtual Prize Fest experience, but it allowed us to put money back into the community. And in just a few weeks, we will kick off year 10 of Prize Fest. We will kick it off in January, and we made it statewide this year, but even making it statewide, 20% of our filmmakers were from Caddo Parish, and 60% of the films were still filmed here in the parish. And a production company just wrapped a feature film. It was a $1 to $2 million budget horror feature that actually filmed downtown because of the Prize Fest folks that came here to use our talent. And we continue to train up the students for Film Prize Junior. This will be our 4th year. So we're excited about these opportunities. We thank you for your continued support of everything that we do. And if y'all have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Amy, thanks for coming down. And I know on behalf of the commission, everybody always acknowledges Gregory, but they don't really recognize yourself or Stephen or Chris and all the hard work that you guys do. But I know it's all about food. It's about music. It's about movies. And that's what showcases Shreveport and Caddo Parish. I mean, who doesn't like movies, food, and music? So I love what Gregory and your team has been doing to showcase what we have here. I mean, this is true economic development. So my hat's off to Chef Tootie and Chef Anthony. They're amazing. I could definitely tell why they won. And what I really like is you guys thought outside the box. We had COVID and everybody was scared and staying home. One night I had to laugh because I heard my wife cracking up in the other room. I mean, like hysterical. I walked in there and I think it was half of the food prize staff was on a Zoom meeting playing Cards Against Humanity with like people all over Shreveport. And I was like, these are all your friends. And they were like, they were having a blast. Like, this is so cool. They said, you know, just because we have to stay home doesn't mean we can't have fun together. And that's what Gregory's been all about is how do we still get the community together? How do we think outside the box and still bring everybody together, even though we're not supposed to? And he's figured out these amazing, crazy ways, and you guys keep pushing forward. So thank you for what you guys are doing for Shreveport and for Caddo Parish.
Well, he's definitely the imagination. We just have to kind of attempt to keep him grounded, and then follow his dreams. And it's quite an honor to be able to work in this office and work with the entrepreneurs here locally, and be able to make all these visions come to life. Because I'm not a creative person, and I thoroughly enjoy the opportunity to work with people who are creative and be a part of the city to do it.
I definitely know the feeling. I have a creative wife, and a creative person needs somebody organized as well to keep them down to earth. So it's Gregory definitely needs you on board. And I applaud all the commissioners that are on here for the continued support. I know you guys can't do it without a lot of the support from the community, and the commission helps out a lot. So I thank the commissioners that are on this call as well.
Well, we are eternally grateful. And again, we just hope that y'all have the opportunity to, continue to pop into our programming and see all the good that you all do for these amazing entrepreneurs in your city. I mean, like I said, all of them, except for our film, were local winners this year. And, they stay here and we get to keep them and watch them grow, which is an honor.
That's awesome. Any commissioners, I have the participation window open if you want to ask any questions. If not, we'll let Amy get back to work. All right, Miss Amy, I don't see anybody on the board, so thanks for coming down and giving us the report. We'll see you soon.
All right, thank y'all again for everything. Have a great
Bye-bye.
day. Bye.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Everson.
All right, that brings us to the administrative report.
Dr. Wilson.
Good afternoon, commissioners. We don't have anything today to report, other than the fact that here we're on the job as usual.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson.
All right, that brings us to commission remarks.
Bye, honey. Have fun. Be careful.
Okay.
Let the record state that was Commissioner Talaferro telling Dr. Wilson, bye, honey.
Yeah, I appreciate the love, man.
All right, communiques and committee reports. Many
We're
commissioners will get on
communiques
communiques. Go ahead and put your hand up. Hey, Commissioner Talaferro.
What?
You look a little red.
It's okay. I got to send my 18-year off. You know that. You got kids. You got to wish them their very best going into the world.
I agree. Mr. Everson, I see no one on the board for communique, so we'll move along.
All right, did you want to do a president's report today or save that for
today?
Great. And we have no old business today, so that brings us to new business. The first item of new business is to authorize the introduction of local assessment ordinance number 61 of 2020. It's an ordinance accepting improvements and paving of Winder Drive and Winder Circle West, Winder Circle East, and Cashmere Circle being located in Fredola's Place and Windermere Estates subdivisions.
Move to advance ordinance number 61 of 2020.
The chair will second. Commissioner Johnson, you want to speak on that?
Yeah, Commissioner Watts could not be on the call today. Didn't know she lost one of her brothers, so she's taking it pretty hard. So if any commissioner want to reach out to her and give your sympathy, you can. But she asked me to advance this one for her today and hope that everybody would support it.
All right, thank you, VP. Commissioner Atkins, I see your hand up.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't have any issues with this. I'm a big believer in building out our infrastructure. But Dr. Wilson, can you give us a little background here? Is this a situation where we're paving roads and building out some of the lesser developed roads in the community?
Yes, sir. I think it was, yes, sir. It was a 60-40 deal that you all know we have the program that And that's the completion of that program.
Okay. All right. Thank you,
Yep.
sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I
Thank
also want to let everybody know that these were already, this is already done pretty much.
Right.
The work has been done in the neighborhood.
That's
This is
correct.
basically levying the taxes on the individuals that stay in that community.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Johnson.
All right. Mr. Everson, I see no one on the board. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Hopkins, Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson,
Yeah.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Burrell,
Yes.
Commissioner Cawthorn,
Yes.
Commissioner Gage Watts, Commissioner Taliaferro,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lazarus,
Yes.
and Commissioner Epperson.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries with 10 in support, 2 absent, and none in opposition. And that brings us to the next item, which is authorizing resolution number 76 of 2020. It's a resolution providing for canvassing the returns and declaring the results of the special election held in Caddo Parish, Louisiana on Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020, to authorize the renewal of special taxes therein.
Move to advance. Second.
All right. I believe that was Commissioner Jackson. Is that right? Okay. And second by Commissioner Epperson. Commissioner Jackson, you want to speak on that motion?
Not unless administration wants to speak. I think it's just canvassing the returns from the elections.
Yes, sir. This is a formality that we have to adopt this.
All right. Thank you, Dr.
Got
Wilson.
a call from the president about the.
No, sir, I'm not receiving any calls lately.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Jackson. Mr. Everson, roll call vote, please.
Okay, Commissioner Hopkins, Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Jackson,
Yeah.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Burrell,
Yes.
Commissioner Cawthorn,
Yes.
Commissioner Gage Watts, Commissioner Taliaferro,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lazarus,
Yes.
and Commissioner Epperson.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries with 10 in support, 2 absent, and none in opposition. And that brings us to the next item, which is authorizing resolution number 77 of 2020. It's a resolution urging and requesting the Louisiana legislature to redesignate a portion of Louisiana Highway 173 as the Coach Carl Pearson Memorial Highway and otherwise providing with respect thereto.
Move to advance.
Second by the chair. Commissioner Jackson, would you like to speak on that motion?
Thank you, Mr. President. This is just a resolution urging and requesting the legislature 173, better known as Caddo Street, is right outside of Mr. Carl Pearson's subdivision, school park over there. We know where that school park Coach touched a lot of lives in Caddo Parish. I got a chance to sit down a number of times and break bread with Coach Pearson, even though I didn't get an opportunity to serve with him. But him, Mr. Caesar, his wife, a lot of those individuals over in School Park, they take pride in the area, and they touched a lot of lives, a lot of individuals that they taught throughout Caddo Parish, and then to go on to become a parish commissioner as well as a school board member, very influential. And so I hear a lot of stories, particularly about Coach Carl Pearson as the lifeguard who taught a lot of people how to swim. And so I think this is befitting of a gentle giant, Carl Pearson, and hopefully one day Dr. Wilson will get some progress on actually repaving and resurfacing and fixing 173 so that it can be, so you don't have to drive in the median or on the other side of the road.
Yes,
So I'm happy to do this. I talked to his wife. His wife is very proud and she's very involved in our community. And so be glad to present this to her And hopefully our legislators will see that this is a befitting tribute to honor the late Coach Carl Pearson. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Commissioner Jackson. LBJ, I saw your hand up. Did you want to speak?
No, I just was going to ask Commissioner Jackson what part of 173 he stayed Caddo Forward area and by School Park.
Preferably, they try to put it as close to the home area as possible. So I would imagine because then I think Caddo Forward eventually turns into Hillard Huckabee. I think LADOTD will work with that particular legislator to identify what section of 173, but they typically try to put it as close to their residential area as possible.
Okay, so that would be 4th Street. Okay.
Yeah, well, actually, I think that part, and I don't know, Tim, they may have to look at it, but I think that part of 4th Street that it might come out on, I think a strip of that might actually be considered Hillard Huckabee. So I'm not sure.
Hillard Huckabee on the other side of Hearn.
Okay.
It starts on the other side of Hearn.
Okay. So
okay.
Cool. Okay then.
All right. Thanks.
Go to 4th Street side.
Yeah, it go from Hillard Huckabee. When it crosses Hearn, it goes to Ford. Mm-hmm. And when it crosses
Pier,
I think it's
Pete Harris. Pete Harris, it turns into Caddo.
Yeah, right. Okay. Thanks.
That's
all I had.
Commissioner Epperson.
Commissioner Jackson,
yes, sir.
Was Mr. Pearson a veteran? Could you find that out?
I'll check. I don't recall a veterans tribute when they did this memorial, but I will check.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I'll check.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Epperson. Commissioner Burrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to commend Commissioner Jackson for doing this. Carl Pearson was one of my fraternity brothers, and he was rather influential in this area, especially in the area of education, sports, and public service. And anything that we could do to recognize him, I think is appropriate. I served with Hillary Huckabee, and I know the dynamic person he was, so he's well represented on Highway 173. But Carl Pearson is another individual who passed away early before his time, but God knows best. But he was, as they say, a gentle giant. He was quite a fellow. So again, I just commend and support Commissioner Jackson on this designation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner. I see no other commissioners on the board. Mr. Everson.
All right. Commissioner Hopkins, Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Burrell.
Yes.
Commissioner Cawthorn.
Yes.
Commissioner Gage Watts. Commissioner Taliaferro.
Yes.
Commissioner Atkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez.
Yes.
Commissioner Lazarus.
Yes.
Commissioner Epperson.
Yes.
All right, that motion passes with 10 in support, 2 absent, and none in opposition. And that brings us to the next item, which is authorizing resolution number 78 of 2020. It's a resolution urging the Governor John Bell Edwards administration, Division of Administration, and LPJA to review and revise the process for federal funds distribution for future COVID-19 relief and otherwise provide with respect thereto.
Move to Thursday.
Second by the chair. Commissioner Jackson, you want to speak on that?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. And the LPJA is Louisiana Police Jury Association, for those who may be listening in to us and may not be familiar with that acronym. We might need to make sure we spell that out somewhere or state that out somewhere in the body, Jeff and Donna. But this is an opportunity. We've been having conversation. I want to thank Dr. Wilson, Haley, and Ms. Bryant for the process and the communications they've been having with the governor's office, the Division of Administration, and also thanking Senator Tarver who sent a letter to the governor's office asking for explanation on why the funding was so lopsided. And for those who may not be aware, Caddo Parish was allocated upward of 28 to 30 some $1 million in CARES Act funding. And of that, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but the proportion or the distribution that I understand it to have been is that the Caddo Sheriff's Office received $13 million. The City of Shreveport received $18 million. The Caddo Parish Commission received right at $800,000. And the District Attorney's Office received right at $200,000.
Yes.
The numbers right?
Yeah, 200,000.
Okay.
246,000. Yeah.
Okay, and so that left a significant gap for the Caddo Parish Commission. As you all know, we did testing, we did PPE. Commissioner Cawthorn came back with another round of testing, which obviously, as we see this third surge that's taking place now, is much needed. Commissioner John Paul Young supported packages and support for child care centers that we're trying to open. So we did a lot of things. We also staffed a lot of places. We had our staff out there on the front lines doing those work. We provided mental health support. We provide rental assistance support. We provided a lot of support that was directly related to COVID-19 as Congress intended for those dollars to be. And we did not get reimbursed for quite a bit of those things. My understanding is, Dr. Wilson, again, correct me if I'm wrong, those items were approved. It's just that the state is saying that they ran out of money. I tend to think that the distribution, they could have reimbursed the Caddo Parish Commission as well as the District Attorney's Office completely for all of the costs, because if you recall, the District Attorney's Office had to make some additional expenses to move court proceedings online to comply with COVID-19. And this is not to begrudge the City of Shreveport nor the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office. That's not been our position, and our administration has made that clear, is not to begrudge them for the amounts that they receive. It's just a matter of they could have, the state could have completely reimbursed the Caddo Parish Commission as well as the District Attorney's Office 100%. And that still would have left them with some $30+ million to divide between the City of Shreveport and the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office. The expenses that these two entities were reimbursed for were primarily for patrol. And Congress did allow for expenses to be utilized for law enforcement and first responders. However, I don't think that they intended for every single dollar for a parish or municipality to go to that. Because what Congress was also clear about was that the funds could not go to plug budget holes, and that you also had to have not budgeted for those expenses already. And so police and fire were already budgeted for 2020. As we all know, we have to adopt balanced budgets. We can't adopt a budget without recognizing the revenue first in the state of Louisiana. And so those dollars were already allocated for police and fire. Those dollars were already realized and allocated for sheriff's deputies. And so they didn't have to dip into their reserve to come out with any additional dollars. Caddo Parish Commission, we had to dip into our reserves to come out with these dollars, and we did the right thing. And I don't want the commission to think that we did anything wrong. We did everything that the law said do. Haley was on a number of calls. I think her assistant was on a number of calls. Dr. Wilson and Erica were all on a number of calls on what the funds could cover, how to do the reports. So we were on top of our game. It's just that the disproportionate share in the formula that they utilize to do the reimbursement would never favor Caddo Parish. And so in this resolution, we're asking for the state to review and revise their process and their formula for distributing relief dollars, because hopefully at some point that there will be another round of CARES Act dollars that will come, and hopefully those dollars will be distributed based on things that actually responded to COVID-19 and not just backfilling budgets. I see where the city is going to put the vast majority of theirs in reserve. Meanwhile, folks are still suffering, needing rental assistance. So my hope is that we can put some pressure on our state leadership to revise that process. Thank you, Mr. President. I know it was kind of lengthy. If not, anybody has questions, I'll be glad.
Thank you, Commissioner Jackson. I know you've been a huge advocate for this because I've seen the emails back and forth between yourself and Dr. Wilson. I know Dr. Wilson's staff's been working on this at your direction. So I applaud you for doing this because I feel exactly as you do is why did Caddo Parish get the short end of the stick when we've been working on trying to get the needs of the parish, of the citizens filled for the last 8 months. Commissioner, I see Commissioner Everson and Burrell. I think your hand are still up there from last time.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Just point of information, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Commissioner Burrell.
I had two questions. How much did we bill for and the amount that was approved? If they have it.
I tossed that to Haley or.
Yeah, I know we have this number. I've seen it in the email.
Yeah.
Haley, are you on the call?
Yeah, she's on the call.
Okay. Ms. Barnett?
I'm pulling it up just so I can give you the exact figure. So just give me a
Cool.
sec.
All right, we'll give her a minute to get that. What's the second question, Commissioner Burrell?
Haley, I have it up. You want me to tell you what the numbers are?
Well, I think the number that you gave a second ago was a little, it was outdated. So if you'll just give me a second, I'll give you the most up-to-date number.
Okay.
Was there a second question?
Yes, Commissioner Burrell, what was the second point of information you were requesting?
Yeah. The second question was how much was billed? Well, the two questions were how much was billed for and the amount that was approved. Those were the two questions.
Got it. Okay. I know that's in that email that Stephen.
We actually billed for 1.3 million, a little over 1.3 million on the last application. So that was the one where we had issue getting approval. There was 248,000 of that was not approved. 100,000 of that was the nursing program. And then there were some food reimbursements that were not reimbursed, as well as some payroll. They only reimbursed up to a certain amount of hours per person. So they denied us some of that. So we had a carry forward, meaning the amount that was approved but not paid of 768,000. And we got total reimbursement of 991,000.
Commissioner Burrell? Just want to make sure. Okay. I didn't see it for a sec. I wanted to make sure you got those figures.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask Ms. Barnett to email those numbers to us again, just so we can all look at them?
Absolutely. Yeah. Shoot those to the all commission email. Thank you. Commissioner Burrow, you still have the floor.
I'm good, Mr. Chairman. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Talaferro.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate Commissioner Jackson's explanation. It was very thorough and very enlightening, and I appreciate it. So it's my understanding that what we're doing is asking for the future distribution practices to be taken a look at. If they say they have no money, obviously we're not going to get something that they don't have. Is that my understanding?
Well, do you want me to respond to that?
I mean, that's just,
No, actually,
that's okay, Mr. President.
No, it's a little bit more complicated than that. Actually, we thanks to Senator Tarver, he sent a letter to the governor, and Commissioner of Administration Jay Darden responded. And I want to say they've identified about roughly about 12 to 13 million dollars that's not allocated to local governments, but there is about $13 million that the state can move around. And so my hope, and I can't speak for all commissioners, but I would hope that as a body collectively, we would hope that our administration would make a request to Senator Tarver and our delegation at the next joint budget meeting that they consider reimbursing some portion of that $13 million to Caddo Parish.
Yep.
And so I think they have a joint budget meeting on December 12th. So yes, to answer your question, yes, we're asking this particular resolution here is specifically asking to look at the process so that this doesn't happen next time, but to also just going forward or stand alone is to request that administration would make a request on our behalf of that $13 million that's still outstanding.
All right, understood. Thank you, Commissioner Jackson. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Jackson, I have you on the board.
No, that was to answer Commissioner Telefaro.
Got it. Okay. All right. I show no one else on the board. Mr. Everson, roll call vote, please.
Okay, and again, this is Commissioner Jackson's motion to advance Resolution 78. Commissioner Hopkins, Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson,
Yes.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Burrell,
Yes.
Commissioner Cawthorn,
Yes.
Commissioner Gage Watts, Commissioner Taliaferro,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lazarus,
Yes.
and Commissioner Epperson.
Yes.
All right, that motion passes with 10 in support, 2 absent, and none in opposition. And that brings us to resolution number 79 of 2020. It's a resolution approving the proposed 2021 budgets of North Louisiana Criminalistics Laboratory Commission and otherwise provide with respect thereto.
Commissioner Taliaferro?
I really don't have a lot to say about the proposed budget. As you well know, as everybody knows, the strong impact that this organization does have, in North Caddo being the premier gathering place for evidence, and the processing of evidence is stellar. And we're very fortunate to have this facility right here in Caddo Parish. So I'm asking for the fellow commissioners to go ahead and approve this budget as presented.
That was a motion. I'll second it.
Yes, I believe it was Commissioner
Yes,
Jackson.
that's correct.
All right. And is this, just for clarification, is this similar to the library where we approve the budget yearly?
This is
That is correct. I'm sorry.
that typically finds itself on your first meeting of the year in January.
Okay.
We did receive the information a little early this year, and so it's showing up here in this meeting. But it's an item that you see once a year.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Everson. Thank you, Commissioner Taliaferro. Mr. Everson, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Hopkins, Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson,
Yes.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Burrell,
Yes.
Commissioner Cawthorn,
Yes.
Commissioner Gage Watts, Commissioner Taliaferro,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lazarus,
Yes.
and Commissioner Epperson.
Yes.
All right, that passes with 10 in support, 2 absent, and 0 in opposition. And that moves us on to our next item, which is to authorize reconsideration of resolution number 74 of 2020. It's a resolution urging and requesting the Louisiana State Legislature to authorize use of ballot boxes and to extend the early voting period and otherwise providing with respect thereto.
Recommend for advancement for Thursday.
Second.
All right. Motion to advance by Commissioner Epperson, second by Vice President Johnson. Commissioner Epperson, would you like to speak on this?
No, sir.
Okay. I have no one on the board. Mr. Everson, roll call vote, please.
Okay, Commissioner Hopkins, Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson,
Yes.
Commissioner Young. Commissioner Young, I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Okay,
I think it's muted.
Is he still on? Oh, yeah, there he is. Okay, Commissioner Young, you're muted, I believe.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Burrell,
Yes.
Commissioner Cawthorn,
Yes.
Commissioner Gage Watts, Commissioner Taliaferro,
No.
Commissioner Atkins,
No.
Commissioner Chavez,
No.
Commissioner Lazarus,
No.
and Commissioner Epperson.
Yes.
All right, that passes with 6 in support and 4 in opposition, unless I heard that wrong. And I've got 2 absent. So that brings us to authorizing special proclamation recognizing Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. And it's
So,
Move for advancement to Thursday.
I'll second. So motion to advance to Thursday by Commissioner Epperson, second by the chair. Mr. Everson, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Hopkins, Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson.
Yes, and can you add me as a
Young.
co-sponsor, please, Jeff?
What?
Can you ask me as a co-sponsor as well?
Oh, add you as a co-sponsor?
Yes.
Me too.
Me too. Epperson also.
Burrell
Might
also.
put Johnson on there as well.
One in.
One of my sisters.
Okay, I will do that, and I'll reach out and see if anybody else wants to be after the meeting. Let's see, Commissioner Young. I'm sorry, Commissioner Young, I believe.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Burrell,
Yes.
Commissioner Cawthorn,
Yes.
Commissioner Gage Watts, Commissioner Taliaferro,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lazarus,
Yes.
and Commissioner Epperson.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries with with 10 in support and 2 absent, none in opposition. And then our next item is going to be authorizing the appointment of the Metropolitan Planning Commission. That's the commission to appoint one, and it's an authorizing the appointment of Metropolitan Planning Commission due to the notification that Mrs. Nancy Cooper does not wish to be reappointed. The term is to expire 12/4/26.
Mr. Everson, Commissioner Epperson has his hand up to make a motion. Commissioner Epperson?
Yes, sir. I'd like to move that the 2 names, with the exception of Giselle Bryant, be advanced for Thursday's agenda.
Second.
All right, got a motion by Commissioner Epperson to advance the 2 names minus the Brandt, second by Commissioner Burrell. Would you like to speak on that motion, Commissioner?
No, sir.
Okay. I see no one else on the board. Mr. Everson, roll call vote, please.
Just, I'm sorry I didn't hear who the second was on that.
Burrell.
Burrell.
All right, thank you. So that is advancing the MPC nominees, and that's advancing Mr. Morton and Mr. Malsh, correct?
Correct.
That's
Just wanna
right.
Make sure I heard that correctly. Okay, Commissioner Hopkins, Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson,
Yes.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Burrell,
Yes.
Commissioner Cawthorn,
Yes.
Commissioner Gage Watts, Commissioner Taliaferro,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lazarus,
Yes.
and Commissioner Epperson.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries with 10 in support, none in opposition, and 2 absent. And that brings us to discussion of issues relevant to the Confederate monument cover, meaning the structure that's been built around.
All right, thank you, Mr. Everson. I have the author of this as Commissioner Epperson.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion that the following verbiage be added to the 4 walls around the Confederate monument. Number 1, Gettysburg Address. Number 2, Pledge of Allegiance. Number 3, Star Spangled Banner. And side 4, God Bless America, if I can get a second.
Second.
All right, you want to speak on that?
Yes, sir. I think we have an excellent venue that can really serve as an educational forum. The National Public Radio had done an interview on that, and it got some nationwide attention. And they contacted me again the other day. So I think this would be the perfect venue where we can educate our public. We have people that come to the courthouse. You can see something of substance, especially with all the contentiousness that we've gone through in 2020. Sometimes we need issues such as this to sort of reinforce in our minds as to where we came from, how we got there, and where we wish to go in the future. So I think these would be 4 perfectly good verbiages to add as an educational process to those 4 walls. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Epperson. Commissioner Cawthorn.
Yes, I would like to echo the sentiments of Commissioner Epperson. I think this represents the iconography of the struggle of freedom and development in America, good or bad, bloody, what the case may be. It is the representation of where America's been and where America's going. So I'm 100% in agreement with him. I wanted to add the Negro National Anthem, but I didn't get a chance to confer with Mr. Everson, so we'll stay with the 4 that he suggested. Thanks.
Thank you,
I support the organography.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't even
Professor, you
spell
need
it.
to call me on the organography, Professor.
But just to give you a definition of it, an iconography represents a picture kind of verbally in your mind that shows you the continuity of events.
Wow.
I love it.
Okay.
Sound like an epiphany too.
Commissioner Talaferro, thanks for hanging tight really quick. We'll get back in order. We're just admiring the Caddo Parish school system. They have done well.
Yeah.
All right, Commissioner Talaferro.
Just a couple of quick questions, Commissioner Epperson. Would you, I know we have the pledge, we have the Star Spangled Banner, we have, what were the other 2? I'm sorry.
Gettysburg Address.
Okay.
And God Bless America.
Okay, would you consider, since this is an educational opportunity for us and many of our citizens are unaware of the rights that they have as a free people, would you consider maybe substituting one of those as for the Bill of Rights?
Let's see.
You don't have to, that's just on the spot. I'm just asking you to consider.
Well, okay, well, I tell you what, we'll add that where it's where we can, okay? Make it.
I think it's a great idea, and I appreciate you bringing
I'll accept that.
it to us.
I'll accept that. We'll make it look good.
I know you will. You're a true patriot, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Talaferro. Thanks, Commissioner Epperson. Moving on, we got Commissioner Atkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Commissioner Epperson. I think that's those are 4 solid pieces we can all get behind, and I think it's a great idea. So I appreciate your suggestion in that regard. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Atkins. Commissioner Jackson.
I'd like to make an amendment to add the iconography of James Weldon Johnson's African American national anthem on, not to take one of the sides out, but just to add it. It's a pretty large box, and if Commissioner Epperson will accept that.
I'll drink to that.
But just some stanza. I mean, it's a beautiful box. To speak to it, it's a beautiful box. It's pretty large, and I think it can. I saw when we agreed to put it up, I saw some of our resident artists here in Shreveport ready to. So, Dr. Wilson, I almost think that you could put out a call to SHRAC to have artists come over and paint those things, or sort of like a mural around it.
Sure.
So yeah, just, FYI, so we don't have to really pay. I think they would be glad to take that on. with all of what now we're up to six.
Yeah,
Six. We're up to
Six.
with those four plus Commissioner Talaferro's and mine. So I
Yeah,
think we can make
six.
it work. And it'll be something that looks good.
Is there room for the 13, 14, and 15 amendment?
Oh, for the question on the motion.
We good. I'm good.
All right, Commissioner Jackson, thank you. I got LBJ.
I think it's a wonderful idea. I know a young artist named Darius Baylor. He just painted the mural on the side of Sea-Link. That would be a good opportunity for him to do some more work. If y'all want to reach out to him. I just want the administration not to let this delay taking down the statue. I know there was a lot of stuff added, but we're on a tight schedule to take it down.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Commissioner, I was going to suggest that artist also.
Okay. Yeah. There was actually 3 commissioners that helped paint the mural that's on the side of Sea-Link. So, and it's a beautiful mural. I don't know if anyone of you have seen it. It has the skyline of Shreveport. It has a young teacher. Has some science in it, some math. It's an excellent mural. So he would be a wonderful person to do that. But I just don't want to let that delay taking the statue down. It's a wonderful idea, but don't delay the other part.
Point of information, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir, Commissioner Burrell.
Given the fact that I recently heard that there was some delay due to someone having COVID. Is there any update on when the removal is supposed to commence?
Dr. Wilson, can I answer?
Yeah,
Mr. Chairman.
I'm sorry.
May I get a point of information in? Let's resolve the issue. Let's resolve the issue that's germane, that's now, and then we can come up with the other information at the end.
Yes, sir, Commissioner Epperson. Commissioner Burrell, if you don't mind, let's vote on this, and then we will we'll take up the second question on the discuss the issues relevant to the Confederate monument.
I have no problem. I just need to know the information.
Okay. Let's see. I have no one else on the board. I did receive a message from one of my constituents, and she said, I don't agree with putting anything on the box that denotes one specific group. That ask is unacceptable. I'm assuming that's from Commissioner Jackson's substitute motion. I didn't catch Commissioner Jackson's substitute motion on what was the addition?
But now that was James Weldon Johnson. But if we want to be a true historian, there's the second half of the Star Spangled Banner that talks about a specific group as well. So that was the second and third stanza. The late Conrad Hutchinson, band man of Grambling State University, would roll over in my grave if I didn't note that. So whoever that is, forward them the second and third stanzas of the Star Spangled Banner.
I didn't. I don't know who those guys are. Is this? I'm assuming this vote would be to forward to Thursday, or would this be the acceptance, Attorney Bernstein?
Everything is forward to Thursday, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. He accepted
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that'll work. That'll give everybody on the call an opportunity to review the items listed and have it written out so that Thursday we can vote on it to move forward. So let's do this. Roll call vote, please.
All right. Again, this is on Commissioner Epperson's motion to advance the addition of the items that y'all have discussed to the walls of the monument, the walls that surround the monument right now. And Commissioner Hopkins, Commissioner Johnson.
Does that also include Commissioner Jackson's friendly amendment?
It does. Yeah. This,
Okay. Yes.
Speaking,
Yeah.
it's like the easiest decision.
I'm sorry, we've got some background noise going on.
My
Okay,
bad.
Commissioner Jackson.
I missed his question. I'm sorry.
Vote.
It's your
yeah.
vote.
Yes.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Burrell,
Yes.
Commissioner Cawthorn,
Yes.
Commissioner Gage Watts, Commissioner Tyler Farrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lazarus,
Yes.
and Commissioner Epperson.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries with 10 in support, none in opposition, and 2 absent. That brings us to communiques and committee reports.
Mr. Chairman, is that going to, we're going to answer my question at that point, or where
Yes,
would
sir.
that? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
We got first question on the board by Commissioner Burrell. Dr. Wilson, will you address?
Just as a quick reminder before y'all get into your discussions, I do just want to make sure everybody has December 4th at 9 a.m. on their calendar. That is the date for the budget adoption special meeting.
Got it. Yeah, you sent it out on that email. Thank you, Mr. Everson.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
Dr.
sir. Yes, sir. Attorney Frazier, would you please give us an update on our progress in getting the monument moved, please?
Yes, sir. We are finalizing all of the pre-proposal activity and should be issuing a request for proposal next month, and all will proceed accordingly from there.
Donna, next month is in terms of December or January?
I'm sorry, as in terms of January, it's my understanding that there's usually a 2-week gap around the Christmas holidays that we would have to take into account if it was issued in December.
Okay.
So let me understand this. Is that we will start, well, maybe I missed something in your statement. Repeat that once more for me.
The request for proposal should be issued next month. We're doing all of the pre-proposal work as far as working with the consultant on preparing the proposal package. And so we're finalizing that this week.
So the issue that I understand that because the guy is sick is not going to postpone any of this.
No.
I understand he got COVID. That may not be true, but
that's not quite accurate, Commissioner, but no, that won't postpone anything from this point unless somebody becomes ill going forward.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Commissioner Burrell. Donna, while we got you on that same topic, when you put out the RFP, what's the duration of time before you have to receive all the bids back in?
I think this is a question probably best directed by purchasing, but I'm thinking that it'd be about 45 days before they're requested back. It could be shorter or longer, Commissioner, because the bidders are probably going to have to actually come down and physically assess the monument. And so that may require more time, or it may not.
Okay. And then after, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Donna, your assessment is correct. It's about 45 days.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Wilson. Trying to figure out a time frame so that when we vote on Thursday, that we could possibly get a price tag on the additional artwork that Commissioner Epperson requested, and then we can make an educated decision on it. You know, if 60 days out, we're looking at taking the box down and moving the monument, would it outweigh the price of the artist? Or you know, what would the decision be? So if you could possibly work up a couple of the artists that they recommended and just get a rough estimate on some artwork for things that we've done already with the flags, so we can have an educated piece of information to vote on this on Thursday. Got VP Johnson.
She answered my question. She answered my question. I'm good.
Okay. Commissioner Epperson?
Okay. First of all, I would like to ask the administration at each meeting that we have, work session and official commission meeting, let that be standard as to the status of what's going on with the monument, okay? Let's just let that be a given in your administrative report.
Okay, sir.
And is that okay?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. And secondly, it appears as though we don't want anything that's going to be shabby that we are doing, because it's education. We're going to get the art community involved. Once this is removed, then these particular frames can be put at some places downtown. Like I see them decorate some dilapidated looking buildings or some areas, that can be used in the art structure from downtown. We're just not going to trash their work. So I think it'll be worthwhile. That's all I have. Thank you.
That's a good idea, Mr. Everson. That's a nuanced way of recycling.
I like that. Commissioner Jackson.
I'm trying to get that word back. I wanted to use it.
That's more of that agronomic.
Agronomic.
Pornography.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to I just wanted to thank everybody who came out, and I'll go into details on Thursday, who came out to our event on Thursday with our seniors. I received several calls, and I think even some of the drivers have received several calls from seniors thanking them for the work that they did. It was a great day. It was a beautiful day, and so just want to thank everyone for participating in that. I also want to encourage Caddo Parish and Shreveport to be a little bit more vigilant as we deal with this third surge in COVID-19. The reality is that we never really was out of the water, and now it's getting worse. Even though a vaccine is on the way, we shouldn't let our guards down. I know that we had to slide back into phase 2 of COVID restrictions. But that's simply because, and a lot of people don't see some of the stuff, particularly with regards to our healthcare institutions. We've got fine healthcare institutions, but let's be mindful that they still have to respond to run-of-the-mill stuff, such as car accidents, people who fall and break their legs, gunshot wounds. They're still having to respond to that. And that amount of pressure being placed on hospital systems, what they may eventually have to do is start triaging and prioritizing who will they see first, which might result in a worse outcome for somebody else's loved one or even your loved one. So let's continue to be vigilant about COVID-19. I reduced my family. We did Zoom via a holiday. They came through the line and they helped deliver meals. That was the most interactive part or face-to-face part of my holiday that I got to saw them. And we utilized Zoom. So let's continue to be mindful of that. Also, Attorney Frazier or Bernstein, whoever can get this information for me. My understanding is that a lot of the evictions are going through the Justice of the Peace Court and not necessarily City Court. That eviction moratorium will expire on December 31st. That eviction moratorium will expire on December 31st. And then there's a gap in between President Trump leaving office and President-elect Biden being sworn in. So there's going to be a gap of uncertainty if that's not renewed. And there's some speculation within the affordable housing and housing advocates organizations that President Trump may just leave it silent until President-elect Biden is sworn in. But if you could look at ask our justices of the peace, even if we have to make a formal public records request. But my understanding from talking with some of the housing advocates local is that they're not necessarily going through city court, but they're going through the JPs to do the evictions because it's a little quicker to go through Justice of the Peace Court. And so if you could get those numbers, I don't necessarily know that you have to share that at a meeting, but if you could send those out to myself and we can follow up on that.
Commissioner Jackson,
Yes.
those evictions are already starting to happen. I talked
Right.
to a gentleman who worked at U-Haul, and
Mhm.
U-Haul business has spiked tremendously because of evictions. And I thought that it was the end of the year as well, but he said no, they've already started evicting people.
Yeah, there are loopholes. There are loopholes in the deal, and I'm not sure if people are aware that assistance is out there. So you may need to double our efforts with maybe a marketing campaign or something. But I am aware, and as I said, they may not be going through city court, so we may not see them on the city docket. I think the last report, the city docket seemed to have a normal amount of eviction traffic. But my understanding is that the JP courts move them along fairly quick. And for the record, I'm not talking about those folks who are 6 and 7 months behind. I'm talking about those folks who may be 2 or 3 months behind on their rent. So if you could look into that for us and provide us with any information that you may be able to find. That's it for me. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Burrell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to somewhat reiterate something that Commissioner Jackson was saying, but I think it's worth repeating that based on what I understand, the estimates are that we're possibly looking at 300,000 deaths by the end of the year. That is, I mean, that is not just phenomenal. That is disheartening. The second thing I want to say is that I hope at this point we can start moving politics out of this pandemic because it's placing such an enormous strain on ICU. I was over at LSU Health the other day talking to Dr. Golly, and they are very much concerned over there, given the fact that if you put too much pressure on the ICU, then you're postponing important surgeries and other medical procedures. And we need to start to take this stuff serious, all politics aside. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Burrell. VP, are you on the board still?
No.
Okay. Let's see, you got nobody else on the board. Commissioners and staff and everybody watching, don't forget it's going to be a hard freeze tonight. So don't have big words like Commissioner Cawthorn, but just remember the pets, pipes, and plants. We won't get into a lot of plants and pipes, but obviously over Animal Services, bring your pets in the house. Don't leave them out. Don't let them freeze. Make sure everything's taken care of and warm. Other than that, I have nothing else.
Let the water drip too. Let the water drip.
Yeah, that's the pipes part. I wasn't gonna get into the nuances of the pipes, but yes, pipes, pets, and plants. The 3 Ps. Been a great day, guys.
Yeah, quite educational.
We got clerk's note. Reminder, got that already? All right, Mr. Everson, citizens' comments, late arrivals.
All right, we've not received any during this time of the call, but I will give out that phone number right now, and we can give a couple minutes to see if anything comes in. That phone number is 318-226-6596. Again, that's 318-226-6596.
Professor Cawthorn, if you would text me that word, I'm gonna try it out on some people tonight.
I will.
All right, Mr. Everson, we'll go to consent agenda.
Okay, next is the consent agenda, which has items that will be on your
Move to
future
adjourn.
agenda. And if there is
Got a motion by the VP to adjourn, second by Commissioner Cawthorn. Pass it by acclamation. See you guys on Thursday.